Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Circularity Scotland, which is the company set up by Lorna Slater in order to deal with the fiasco she's caused with DRS, is definitely going under. Donald McCalman, the programme director for this company, was out on social media yesterday trying to find jobs for 60 employees. None of them having currently got real jobs. When we go through this, people, you see that they're all made up jobs that they've got, because it's the sort of thing where you don't actually have anyone doing the work. All you've got appointed is all these managers and sub-managers and people who count paper clips. Not actual jobs. But he's going to try and find them actual jobs because it is going under. And there's a lot of criticism over this, of course, rightly, because there's no reason to close this Circularity Scotland, this DRS scheme. It could quite easily have gone ahead just dealing with the plastic side, not having glass. But Lorna Slater, of course, insisted, we've got to close it down because not glass, even though everybody was saying glass was fine not being in the scheme, because she needed to make a political point. And having made her political point, these 60 people and their families are going to be, in poverty and misery because, got to create that problem with the UK government rather than just getting on and doing her job, which she's quite incapable of doing. But we'll take a look at this, see why she's going to be criticised, and quite rightly so. So here goes. So, end of Lorna Slater's DRS firm confirmed as the director tries to find new jobs for the staff. Circularity Scotland Limited faces an uncertain future after the deposit return scheme was delayed until 2025 by the Green Minister and Humza Yousaf, even though there was no real reason for doing it, except that by doing that they can create some artificial division to try and push the cause of independence. Ultimately, what that's just shown is that she is just a loser and she is going to fire 60 people because it's more important that she's seen to be in charge and doing something that's hers rather than doing something good. She's totally unsuitable for this job, isn't she? Totally. At a loss. Anyway, critics say the end of the company set up to run Scotland's deposit return scheme has been confirmed after a boss tried to find new jobs for staff on LinkedIn. Programme Director at Circularity Scotland, Donald McCalman, took to the social media platform on Sunday, hoping to pick up roles for 60 brilliant people. These people are losing their jobs, and there's no reason for this, as I've said. Had Lorna Slater listened to the experts at any point, she would have known that you could have gone ahead with this scheme perfectly well just by dealing with the plastics, not dealing with the glass. But of course, that would have meant that she'd have failed to get one tiny little aspect of this through, which would have reflected badly on her. And so instead of just proceeding with what she had, she's cancelling it in order to blame Westminster. This is not Westminster's fault. And certainly the glass industry doesn't want it. As the glass industry says, they're perfectly happy with the current scheme, which recycles 90% of glass in a very, very efficient way. And they were saying that the way that the Scottish Government tried to set up this scheme was not efficient. It was inefficient, it was expensive, it was a worse system that would result in, first of all, lower rates of recycling of glass, number one. And secondly, a much, much greater cost to the industry than what the current setup is. And so it would fail on the two main important metrics. But she couldn't listen to the experts because she knows best. She knows best about everything. Anyway, it follows reports during the week that the future of CSL is uncertain after staff were sent home and the bosses were not able to say if they'd get paid this month. The future of the company hangs in the balance after Circularity Minister Lorna Slater and First Minister Humza Yousaf delayed the bottle recycling programme until 2025, having initially insisted it would launch in August, and they have got a lot of compensation bills coming their way. And this is why they keep trying to foist it onto Westminster, and Westminster going, not ours, not ours. Mr McCalman said, most of you will be aware of the recent events associated with the delay to the deposit return scheme in Scotland and the grim consequences for Circularity Scotland as a direct result, What he didn't put there is of Lorna Slater's decision. He says, I'm not going into the politics of the last few weeks. This post is focused on the staff and contractors of the company who, through no fault of their own, now find themselves immediately available for work. I've been at Circularity Scotland since the start, and so have seen the entirety of everyone's time at the company, and have been hugely impressed at how all of them have risen to take on a unique challenge. He's just saying nice things about these people because he's trying to get them a job, and I think actually that's a fairly decent thing of him to try and do, to be honest. Certainly far more decent than anything Lorna Slater's done, just by callously firing them because, politics, not economics. It would have worked. Anyway, he then lists the type of employees available, including 7 customer service executives, whatever they are, 3 account relationship managers, whatever they are, comprehensive finance clerks, managers and executives. Well, finance clerks actually do some real work, I'll give them that. As well as other roles. Whiskey consultant Blair Bowman, an avid critic of the DRS, said of the message, it looks like this is the end of CSL, pretty much confirmed now. And he's right, I mean it is, it's a dead duck. It's finished and done. And yet it could well have worked if it was just plastic. Everyone in the glass industry, everyone said in the recycling industry, if you just go ahead with just plastic, it will work. But hey, they're not going to listen, are they? Slater's never going to listen because it doesn't give her enough credit. The Scottish Government's handling of the DRS has been widely criticised, with Miss Slater especially accused of ignoring the concerns of businesses to push ahead. She ignored everyone because she's the only one who knows everything about everything. She's the wise woman. She's the mistress of all she surveys, and that everyone else, regardless of how clever, educated or experienced they are, is merely a nobody who knows nothing in her eyes. Anyway, she waited until March this year to request an exemption to the Internal Market Act, which should have been in 2, maybe 3 years ago. Scottish Secretary Alistair Jack granted the exemption, but only if glass was removed from the project, something supported by many businesses. It has not stopped Ms Slater and Mr Yousaf from claiming UK ministers were trying to sabotage the project. No, they're trying to save the glass industry, you stupid bint. CSL, which had said the scheme could go ahead without glass. This is CSL them saying, oh yeah, no, it's fine, go without glass, it's brilliant. This was dealt a further blow on Friday when a group of drinks producers pulled their voluntary funding. A statement issued jointly by the British Beer and Pub Association, the British Soft Drinks Association and the Scottish Retail Consortium said they no longer had confidence in the company. Well, of course they're not going to have. When you got this company set up by Lorna Slater, it's not going to have any... Who would have confidence in anything that woman did? Scottish Conservative MSP Maurice Golden said it's deeply unfair that ordinary, hard-working employees at Circularity Scotland are paying the price for Lorna Slater's epic incompetence. Despite Circularity Scotland making it clear the scheme could go ahead without glass, as the UK Market Act exemption allowed, the Green Minister chose to delay the scheme for 2 years in order to stir up a grievance with Westminster. And now up to 60 people may end up losing their livelihoods as a result of her divisive political tactics. This is selfishness on top of incompetence. That is a line I am going to steal and use. Selfishness on top of incompetence. That really does sum up Lorna Slater, doesn't it? Slater claimed the job losses were a direct consequence of the 11th hour decision by the UK government to impose unworkable conditions. And that's bull. It's your 11th hour decision to actually put the IMA in. And plus, the taking of glass out of the scheme wasn't unworkable, as everybody, and I mean everybody, has been saying, except Lorna Slater. It is absolutely ridiculous. Now all these people are unemployed, all because that stupid woman won't listen to people who know far more about this than she ever will. Why is she still in government? Why hasn't Humza Yousaf just said, look, you're causing problem after problem after problem. It's time you go and get yourself educated and maybe do a job better suited to your particular skill set. Can't think of one, but I'm sure there's something out there. Anyway, I shall round off and come up. It really does go to show the sort of person Slater is. She's willing to cast 60 people and their families onto the heap. Poverty and misery, stress, all that. 60 people and their families. We could be talking hundreds and hundreds of people made miserable and set low because of one woman's obsession with her own self-importance and her own desire for power. If that doesn't cause Humza Yousaf to fire her, she can more or less do anything she likes. She is a destructive force. And the thing is, she's so stupid, she doesn't even see it herself. She is utterly moronic. She needs to go, and she needs to be fired in such a way as to be publicly humiliated over everything she does. She's got to realise and learn that you cannot treat people like this, but also you can't enter public life when you are as stupid and ignorant as she is. And I hope he does fire her, but I don't suppose he will, because that requires a spine. We know he hasn't got one of them. Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, do recycle, and goodbye.